So, okay, let's get the party started. Welcome, everyone. New year, new products with Newline. How about that? Some alliteration. Alliteration to start 2021. Why not? Let me head this off at the pass. The first thing I want to mention is, because I know you're probably, okay, no products. So the first thing that's probably on your mind is this. Okay, new panels. Talk about new panels. We want to know about new panels. Panels. That's not this. I'm sorry. No new panels for this particular conversation. Are there new panels happening at some point? The answer is most likely. Can I tell you anything about those now? No. Now watch. Half the people drop off like, We got fun things to talk about though. But this is going to be about some other products besides panels. And so we've got some interesting stuff happening. And listen, the panels are exciting, but the things that we do in association with them can also be equally exciting and important. So that's what we're going to cover today. So this is going to be relatively brief on that score. I thought I was going to have a co-host join me so I could have someone MC the questions for me. That's no big deal. I mean, I can see it. If you want to ask a question, you can go ahead and pop that in the chat. Although right now we got a pretty small group at this point, which is fine, by the way. So if you want to come off, I don't know. I have to admit, normally this is through our webinars account, so I don't know if you guys can come off mute or not. If you can't, then no problem. Just go ahead and put a question in the chat, and I will grab those toward the end. Is when I'll open some time for Q&A. If you can unmute your microphone, though, then feel free to do that. That's fine. I'm fine with that. But if you can't, no problem. Go ahead and throw a question in the chat if you have any questions. But without any further ado, hey, right behind me, see that thing right there? See that? That's one of the exciting products that we're going to talk about. Some of you may have already heard about this. Some of you may have even been on a webinar that we have done about this. I've done some webinars about Flex. Which is one of our newest products. So that's one of the ones I'm going to cover today. But I've got one behind me, and I'm actually speaking to you and looking and doing all this on a Flex right now. So I'm actually using the product as well as, being Vanna for the one right back there. Hey, here comes Agata. Hi, Agata. Perfect timing. We just started. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now. Let's get into this. And here we go. So here it is. This is the lineup that we are going to cover today. And Newline Display Management Plus, which is in fact our display management system that we have for the panels. It may not seem like it's that exciting, but I got to tell you, there is something pretty significant here depending on one's situation and how many panels one is deploying in a particular space. We'll talk about that. Tango, which is a really, really solid camera solution that is also very cost effective. And of course, Flex, which I alluded to earlier. So once again, just a reminder about how we do things, how we treat things. Many of you are probably already familiar with us and who we are, but for those of you who aren't, just a reminder, what we do really. And yes, of course, we do have, and I'm talking about today, we have products that are associated with panels that we do, but the product that we actually do, our actual honest to goodness product is in fact interactive displays. We are not a company that also does phones and washing machines, and you get the picture. We specialize in one thing. We do it really, really well, and that's what we're all about. And we do have solutions to meet pretty much every customer and every vertical out there. So we pride ourselves on that. We pride ourselves in having products that are very easy to use, that are non-proprietary. So it doesn't matter what your environment looks like. Our stuff is designed to live in your world. You don't have to live in ours. And then all the things that we do on the back end, that's really where we separate ourselves in backing up the promises that we make when you invest in Newline and partner with us. having that continuous support and training and being very, very strong in those areas and taking those things seriously. Those are the things that we are about. If you have any questions about any of that, obviously feel free to ask away, but we will go ahead and head right over to the fun stuff. And here it is, Flex. So again, I'm doing this on a Flex right now. And this is particularly exciting because really what we're talking about here is everything that we do that is wonderful about our panels and the big panels that we do. And now what we've done is we've condensed that into a 27-inch desktop collaboration solution. So sure, it's a desktop monitor, but besides that, it's also the collaboration piece because of the modular camera that you can see on the top there that does tilt, the microphone array that's built into the bezels kind of at the top. If I'll just kind of circle that right there like that. It's at the top. And then the display itself is optically bonded, like I said, 27 inches. It also is capacitive. And it does support Microsoft's Active Pen protocol, which is very exciting. So, oops, I hit the wrong button. I do that all the time. And so I'm doing that right now, though I'm fumbling it because it's been a while since I've done Active Pen. I did Active Pen years and years and years ago, and then it went away, and now it's made a comeback, and now I kind of have to remind myself how it all works. But that's actually one of the nice things about it is that the ability to have the Active Pen and being able to use the writing utensil as well as having effectively a mouse in your hand because it has the Active Pen buttons. So you can use those to erase, you can use those as a right click, and being able to navigate around a system that way with a two-in-one. You get your writing device and your mouse basically in one device. That's one of the beauties of having an Active Pen system. And of course, the palm rejection, actually being able to put your hand on the screen and write like a normal person. And you can see that the stand here, yeah, that does actually adjust. So you can adjust the angle of Flex so that you can put your hand on the screen and write comfortably. That's another wonderful feature about it. 2.1 audio, and yes, there is actually a subwoofer built in there. It's kind of right behind on the bottom. You can see the speakers are located. It's right behind there, so there really is a subwoofer back there. And this thing will get loud, so you can really bother your neighbors if you feel like doing that. Newline doesn't necessarily endorse that, but hey, you can do that if you want to. So there really is an immersive audio experience that goes with this. And then there are hardware buttons to control the camera and the microphone, so you don't have to fumble around in the software. Okay, wait a minute, I need to get the zoom toolbar, and then I need to find the mute button and blah. Even that befuddles me sometimes. I'll admit that. That sometimes befuddles me. So in instances like that, there is, in fact, there are in fact hardware buttons for camera and for microphone, as well as a mute button for the speakers that also exists. So a lot of wonderful things happening here, and a lot of places that this can live. Because again, this isn't a big panel where you have to really think about the space where it lives and what's going to happen there. No, this is the desktop experience. So it can live in a number of different places across a number of different markets and have a number of different uses. But if you think about all the wonderful things that we do on our big panels and all of the types of things that you can do there, whether we're talking running meetings, delivering content to an audience, well, guess what? You can do the same kind of thing with Flex, but it's the more individualized desktop experience. So we're very, very, very excited about that. And oh, by the way, the price is nice. So we're talking $999. So if you think about all the hardware that's here, and if you compare that to other products that are similar, though there really isn't anything else like it, really. I mean, it pretty much stands alone in terms of everything it has. But if you compare it to things out there that are somewhat similar, you'll find that the dollars alone really make it worth the price of admission. And here is Tango. Now listen, there are cameras out there that have all kinds of bells and whistles. And we do those. We partner with our good friends at Logitech for a solution such as their Meetup, which, by the way, is wonderful. I use a Meetup for webinars when I'm in my webinar room. It's wonderful. I like it. Yeah, it's got all the bells and whistles, and what it does very well, and it's also very expensive. I'm not saying that to be derogatory. I'm saying that because of the type of device that it is. It lives at that price point because of what it is. Not everybody needs that. Well, not everybody can afford it, but also not everybody needs that. It's like, hey, man, I just need a camera that has a built-in microphone so I can do what I got to do. I mean, I don't care about any of the fancy stuff. And that's what Tango is all about. And particularly when you think about panels that don't have cameras and microphones integrated, of course we do that. But for panels that don't have cameras and microphones integrated, or just having a good solution that you can use at your desk as another possibility. A great 1080p camera, it looks good. It has a decent field of view, a great integrated microphone that has digital noise reduction and the automatic volume and all that good stuff. So again, no fancy bells and whistles, but what it does in terms of the fundamentals, it does very, very well. So Tango is a good, cost-effective solution for people who just need that type of device. Newline Display Management Plus, and this in fact is our management solution that allows an IT staff or an IT person to centrally manage a deployment of panels where you can update and remove apps on the embedded side. You can send out alerts. You can control settings and actually set up. You can actually have presets that you set up and configure yourself that you can apply to different groups of panels. And you can tag them, so you can actually have panels grouped and tagged so that you can access certain groups and then control them that way. There's also a remote control feature, so you can remote control panels, again, from a cloud-based portal. So if you've got internet access, you can absolutely, positively make that work. I've got a question here. Does Tango have built-in loudspeakers? The answer is no. It's camera and microphone only. Very good question. So once again, Newline Display Management Plus, and you're looking at the dashboard here. I'm going to take you through just a brief tour for those of you who have never actually seen what it looks like. And then right here, again, this is what I was alluding to, where you can group certain panels together, and then you can filter those so that if you only need to do something on these 5 panels over here, and you don't need to worry about the other 20 panels over there, then great, you can group them together to make that happen. So we try and make it as easy as possible to make that to make our good friends in IT and people who are responsible for doing this, they live tough lives. We know this. We try and make it as easy as possible for them to manage these deployments, and that's one way that happens. When you access the panel individually, it gives you a window that gives you information according to that panel. It also allows you to then control what you want to have happen on that panel. Do you want to change the settings? Do you want to install or remove something? Do you want to send a message to that panel? All of those things can happen either with groups or individually, panel by panel. This is the settings repository that I talked about. You can have them configured. So for this group of panels over here, you have this group of settings. For that group of panels over there, you have that group of settings. Is this for True Touch Newlines? So the answer is yes, actually, this is for our panels, and specifically the series of panels that are using this particular version of display management right now, Display Management Plus, is the RS Plus series of panels. That's a series that we have right now that is in fact using this. So this is absolutely in use right now. And then again, I alluded to this, remote software installation is the same kind of a thing there. What kind of operating system does the panel run on? So it depends on the model that we're talking about, but most of our panels for the embedded side will have an Android frame. Will be based on an Android system. So we'll have an Android front end. We have one panel, the IP series, that does not have the same kind of embedded OS, doesn't have embedded apps or anything like that. That's our enterprise security panel. So if you find that you have a need for a panel that doesn't have any of that stuff, that doesn't touch the network, we also have a panel. That's our IP series. It's the only one that doesn't have that kind of an embedded OS. Good question. Well, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, that was going to be a quick run through. and so there it is. But once again, Flex, again, very exciting. We are very, very pleased. There's been all kinds of good news out there, and we're very pleased with the receptions received so far. So that's our desktop collaboration experience. Tango is again, just a solid camera with a built-in microphone, very cost effective. And then Newline Display Management Plus, which allows IT administrators, IT teams and staffs to control and manage deployments of panels from wherever they are, because it's a cloud-based portal. I will now go ahead, and I kind of did it while I was doing it, but if there are any additional questions, you are welcome to throw them to me now. Hey, look at that. I got it there. Agata, I didn't even need you. I've got this covered. No offense, Agata. We love Agata. What is the cost for both the Tango and Newline display management? If you are interested, well, Newline display management is free. I'll throw that out there. One of the things to remember about Newline is that we don't really mess around much with licensing fees and fee-based stuff. Newline display management is one example of that. Other examples of software that we do for free that is actually part of the package when you own a Newline panel is wireless casting. So Newline Cast is our wireless casting solution, which is embedded in the panel. You do not pay for that. Newline Broadcast, which is the opposite direction, where you can broadcast what's on the panel out to up to 300 devices out there. That is also that's also a solution that's free. The only thing that we've got in terms of software that isn't a freebie, although we offer them on promos, is Newline Launch Control, which is what allows you to put the panel in a kiosk mode so you can control what users see and access as part of a meeting space or whatever the case may be. So that's the only one that actually has a fee associated with it. But if it's Newline software, chances are very good that's going to be free when you own a Newline panel. May have missed it, but the camera is USB, I believe it's USB 3, if I'm not mistaken. It's not Type-C. We're not quite there yet, but that's obviously as we move forward, we're going to see more and more USB Type-C. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm glad you asked this question, because it reminds me one thing I should have mentioned about the Flex. It's very important that I forgot, so shame on me, is the Flex actually supports USB Type-C. So when you connect your laptop or whatever your source, when you connect your source to the Flex, you can do the traditional way via HDMI and standard USB, but it also has USB Type-C. So if you have a device that actually, in fact, let me turn this up because I can show you. Let me go back to. Here, let me do this. So here I am. Okay. So I actually have, and why am I on speaker view and it's showing you? Why is it doing that?
Because I'm also a panelist.
I'm going to have you log off so I can, no, I'm just kidding. So what I have here is on the Flex that I'm using, you can't see it, so I can't show you, but I've got a little Dell Ultra Portable that I'm connected via USB Type-C. And then on this one, I've actually just got a little Chromebook that also does USB Type-C. So here's the great thing about this. One cable, audio, video, touch, and power, because the USB Type-C port that we have on Flex will deliver up to 60 watts. So if you have, like the two devices I'm using, if you have USB Type-C devices that support power via USB Type-C, then yes, one cable gets you everything. But again, if you're using something that doesn't do that, don't panic. You can still connect the traditional way with regular USB and, regular HDMI and USB. What else we got here? Any other questions about any of that? Tango, Flex, Newline display management. If you have a panel question, you can also ask me a panel question. That's fine. Nothing? Are you sure? I explained everything so beautifully and clearly. It requires no further explanation whatsoever. No further explanation. Agata, would you like to say something to all the fans?
No, I think you've covered it very well, Mr. Tim Garber.
Oh, thank you. Oh, but then hang on. I just got one. Is the Flex compatible with Apple Mac? Yes. That's it. I'm sorry. We were exciting an exclamation. Yes. There you go. Yes.
Don't you love the non-proprietary nature of Newline, right?
Yes,
everybody asks.
Non-proprietary nature of Newline. So Windows, which is what I'm using, Chromebook, and yeah, you can connect a Mac. It works. We've tested it. It works. We got Mac fans in this office, so you better believe they've been testing it. What else? I'll give you 10 seconds, and then I will release you all back into the wild. All right, very good. If you do have any additional questions, including pricing, because I know I kind of danced around that price question about some of the other things. If you have any specific questions about pricing, really what you want to do is go ahead and reach out. If you're a customer and you're working with a partner, go ahead and reach out to your preferred partner. Or if you're a reseller and you're working with us, reach out to your regional sales manager, because they are there to help you and they can get you all of the pricing that you could possibly need. So we'll make sure that you get what you need. So go ahead and contact the appropriate parties for that, and we will absolutely get you all the pricing info. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Something came through. Hang on. See, this part of the Zoom thing doesn't touch very well. I don't know why. Here, let me see if I do it like this. If it's happy. That's her happier. Connect to X Series or any other NIFPD. I don't know what that means. That acronym got me. You got me with that acronym. Connect to X Series or any other NIFPD. You might
Newline interactive flat panel display.
Oh, say that again.
Newline interactive flat panel display.
What's the name of that game where, is it Pictionary? What's the name of that game where you're supposed to look at something and then know what you must have been really good at that game.
Apples to apples, I think is what you're thinking of.
Yeah, that's it.
But
I knew you would know. I knew she would know. Connect to X Series. Okay, are we talking?
I think we're talking about Flex.
Oh, we're talking about Flex. Okay, I'm sorry. No, you're not going to connect Flex to. You're going to connect a source to Flex. You're not going to connect another panel to Flex. It's not going to operate like that. So no. But I actually, while I'm on this, because I want to make sure this is clear too, Flex also does not have an embedded operating system. So you have to connect a source to it, because there are no embedded apps, none of that. So it's entirely dependent on a source, but you're going to connect some kind of source to it, whether we're talking computer or whether computer obviously would be the main thing. Because what is it? It's a desktop monitor as its core with all the other goodies to make it a complete solution, but you have to connect a source to it. Good question. Anything else? Oh, I got one. Can you fold in an OPS? Okay, no, this is a good question. Okay. I need to be careful here because there is no product yet. Okay, I want to be clear about this. There is no product yet, but Flex will support Smart Display Module, which is the small form OPS. So it's like an OPS, but even smaller. For those of you who are not familiar with that, but it will support Smart Display Module, but there are no products yet, ladies and gentlemen, so don't get too excited about that yet. But down the road, yes, that support is there. Good question, though. What else? It's funny, if I give them like 10 seconds, then they'll throw questions at me. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for joining us. Once again, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. We are here to help you. Thanks again. I hope everybody's having a good start to the new year. But the most important thing is please, everyone, please stay safe out there. That's the most important thing. And we will see you all next time. Have a great day, everyone.